I am richer and happier than we last spoke.
You're technically our first case study for the program.
It took me 13 months to have, finally a case study.
And do you feel
That's
like this
great.
would have been possible, without coming in and, us tweaking your IG and implementing, the IG strategy?
I mean, 30K, I don't think so.
What made you choose me, out of everybody else that's all over YouTube?
I watched your YouTube videos and you seem kind of genuine. Right now, I'm running 75% margins, bro.
Amazing.
It's just crazy.
Amazing.
I won the game.
Okay, Ignos, brother, what is up, my man?
Hey, hey, hey.
How are we? How are we doing today?
So I am richer and happier than we last spoke. So yeah,
Yeah, it seems like it. It seems like it. That's awesome. Okay, so you're technically our first case study for the program.
and
We
probably the fastest one.
yeah, definitely. We had one or two lined up before this, but one student didn't want to do his case study just because he was uncomfortable, and then we had another student who was ramping up to do a crazy week, and they kind of just ghosted us out of nowhere, which is kind of odd, but it is what it is. You technically would have been like our third or fourth, but now you are our first. How does it feel?
So by finally, the day has come. To be honest with you, I watched on YouTube so many case studies, from different channels, and I was like, oh God, I wish I was the person, and finally I'm here. 13
Yes.
months later, finally I'm
Yes,
here.
bro. Yes, bro. Awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Can you just fill us in on a little bit more about you and basically your journey with organic and all of that good stuff?
So I got introduced to dropshipping in 2020, pre-COVID. So, it was like kind of new thing to me.
Right.
So I built a website, I ran Facebook ads, made a sale, lost the money, never looked back. But I was constantly coming back to the same topic, how to do it, because this business concept got hooked me up. It was interesting for me. It was something new. So I was kept on doing the research, right?
Uh-huh.
And I came up with a organic marketing strategy. So I was like, is it really that simple? You have the phone, you have the product, and you just basically do funny TikTok. That was it.
Right.
So it wasn't that easy. It took me 13 months to have, finally a case study. So yeah, I had probably once like 1K day, I had 10K product, but nothing major, nothing like, life changing or stuff like that.
Right.
I probably ran into every single possible thing that dropshipper can run into. And like when you are going alone on this journey and you're facing that many issues, it's like you have to be really mentally strong, to keep on going.
Yeah.
And the reason why I joined the mentorship was because sometimes I felt like I was lost, like a little girl in a forest. Sometimes you're just questioning yourself, and you have no support whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I knew I had the skill. I knew that I already had the skill, and I knew plenty of dropshippers that are the level below me, but I did not know any dropshippers that level above me. And this is why I needed, this confirmation that, just keep on going. And here I am. So,
Awesome.
last conversation we had was on the 11th of November, and today is 30th of November. So 19 days later, we are having a case study. So
Yeah.
this is the proof, how little I needed.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, okay. So now that we're on that subject, let's go ahead and pop up the dashboard. Let's see what we've been doing.
Yes, absolutely. Would be shame not to share.
Definitely. So you came into the program running this product.
Yes. And I just needed a confirmation from you for me to run.
Right. Exactly.
So I gave you all the Instagrams, all the TikToks. You looked over and you said you looked at specifically you looked at my Instagram account and you said, "Bro, you got something here." So look, and you was talking about my videos. You said my videos are decent enough to keep on going viral. And you told me do this, this, and this. Don't do anything extra. So straight after conversation, I did just exactly you told me. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, let's say so. This is the date where we had our conversation,
Okay.
and this is the period until today. So I made almost $26,000 in sales in 19 days, which is crazy, super
Perfect.
crazy.
And all
And
it
for
took was that one little tweak of
yes,
obviously, the Instagram strategy that we all go crazy over inside the inner circle. And we took you from, a product that was barely doing anything. And what was it doing? So what was it doing before you joined?
to be honest, before I joined, I've just started the product. I launched the store on 31st of October. So it was like
Okay.
freshly built store. I was still, questioning myself, is it
Right.
worth keep on going with this product?
Right.
So yeah, for the month, I have made 30K.
30K. 30K.
Yes,
Amazing. And do you feel
that's
like this would
crazy.
have been possible, without coming in and, us tweaking your IG and implementing, the IG strategy?
I mean, 30K, I don't think so. I don't think so. There was a period I was like, before joining, because me joining the program it was a very quick decision from me because I was expecting to make, like probably 10K this month and would have been, the happiest kid on earth.
Right.
But I wasn't expecting like 30K. After I used the Instagram strategy, right? I saw the number like 12, 14, 15, and I was like, come on, let's hit 20, let's hit 20. So I still had 10 days left and I was already at 20K revenue. So I was like, I have to go 10 days in a row above 1K. So I was like, is it actually doable? And here I am, I did it. I wasn't expecting to reach 30. I was like thinking maybe 25 at the best,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm happy. I'm really happy to be honest with you. And I'm
Okay.
very grateful.
Awesome. Okay, you can stop sharing your screen now just so our beautiful faces can pop up on screen here.
Yeah.
But okay, so after all of this, obviously, insane results, especially, I mean, you got like what would that be? Like almost a 5x on your return, 6x on your return on investment just from what you spent on the mentorship.
Yeah.
So, what made you choose us? What made you choose me, out of everybody else that's all over YouTube?
The reason why it was I watched your YouTube videos and you seem kind of genuine, you know. I
Yeah,
did not see
definitely.
lies in your face, you know. Sometimes I don't know. It was like an
Definitely.
instinct, a gut feeling, if you can say so.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, it's crazy to me. There's a lot of people, out here that run mentorships. Some of them haven't even done the business model. Some of them, they maybe had a one-hit wonder, et cetera, et cetera. But it's hard to get advice and really get guided in the right direction when all the information they have is very lackluster. So that's why it's so huge even for guys in your position where you've had a slight bit of success to have, a few coaches light years ahead of you, because that's what you want in a mentor. You want somebody in a place you want to be, not just some guy who's saying, hey, I can teach you this, but a guy that's lived it, experienced it, and says, I could get you to my level. And, while we're on this subject, it's actually hilarious. I get so many people that they that they'll come to me and they'll be like, oh, well, they'll be in a position similar as to yours when you joined, and they'll be like, oh, well, I've had a bit of success. I've had this one, or I've done 10, 20K, whatever. How would you even be able to help me? And the funniest part is it's debatably we help our advanced guys more than anyone else because it is just so easy to make guys like you money. Because even if you have had that one winner or two, it's so easy to fall off, as you know. Like you said, you're just always in the dark. You never really know your next move. But when you have 2 to 3 killers that are constantly guiding you, constantly giving you advice, constantly feeding you winning products, it's a no-brainer. It's almost inevitable that you just continue to win, continue to win, continue to win. And it's so easy to make guys like you money because we don't have to deal with the basics. We don't have to go over all this beginner stuff. It's literally just get you in, feed you winning products, or take whatever product you have and optimize it, tweak it. And that's just a testimony in and of itself of how easy it is to make you guys money. And that doesn't mean, we don't help beginners. We've actually have a beginner case study loading as we speak. But yeah, and while we're on the subject as well, I know I'm yapping, but a lot of people think that everything about organic is just better content, better content, better content. And yes, that is 90% of it. But sometimes, like for the IG strategy, for example, it's just about knowing what the platform wants and feeding it that way, right? Like you already
Exactly.
said, I came to you and I was like, listen, your content's what we call decent enough. And what I meant by that is it's decent enough to pull off what we need to pull off, especially with the Instagram account you had. So it's just tweaking this, tweaking that, implementing the strategy. And just like I told you, bang,
I
everything
mean,
went crazy.
this word, good enough. It doesn't mean that, my videos were terrible. They were,
Right,
you said
right,
it
right,
yourself, they were like 8 out of 10.
right,
I knew
exactly.
I knew I could work more, to improve, to make them, look maybe better, something like this. But it was more than enough to go viral. They were good. They were actually
Definitely.
good.
Definitely.
I've seen, myself, I've seen worse videos getting,
Yeah, definitely.
millions of views. So
Most definitely. Okay, beautiful. So, what do you feel like, outside of obviously us making you a ridiculous amount of money within like 2 to 3 weeks of being in the mentorship, outside of that, what do you feel like are some of the most valuable things that you get from the mentorship?
I mean, I like the weekly meetings with you, with Sam, with Nico. For example, this morning I had a conversation. I had a meeting with
Hmm.
Sam, which is one of your coaches, right?
Uh-huh.
And
Killer.
it was a second meeting. I had a second meeting with him, and it's so easy to have a conversation with him, because he has experienced it. He knows what I'm talking about. He knows the way I feel.
Exactly.
And we had really like decent conversation, and he made me to change my perspective, the way I look at the dropshipping. I think I did all wrong. If I met him like a year ago, I think I would have made it in like 6 months' time, because he said one sentence that completely changed my perspective. So from now on, I'll do what he told me, and it's
That's
no
amazing.
brainer.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he also go in on some back end stuff with the website and increase that conversion rate a little bit for the
Yes,
current
that is
product?
correct. Because this is the second story. Like I think everybody can create content and upload, their product onto the website and, kind of make sales, because everybody knows that website does not actually matter if
Right.
the customer wants to buy the product, right? And this is 100% correct. But the advanced stuff begins when you start, bringing upsells, one click post purchase, making look
Hmm.
your store look more professional, and this is
Exactly.
the advanced stuff, and not everybody knows about it. And
Exactly.
it actually opened my eyes. The
Yeah.
coaches, they have so much sauce. It is basically, I don't know, just ask and you will get the sauce.
Exactly.
He made me to buy, a premium theme, which I'm not complaining. This is a level up for me, so
Most definitely.
yeah, I worked on my store, and my conversion rate has increased by probably almost double. It's not double, but very close to double, from like
Which is
zero point 0.9 to 1.6. So, which is
exactly.
great. And it's
Yeah,
still not the
and
best.
right, exactly. And it's crazy because that doesn't seem like much, but from the same amount of traffic you were already getting, you're now making almost double the sales. So really, in the grand scheme of
Absolutely.
things, it's absolutely huge. Obviously optimizing that average order value, all that good stuff you're talking about. These little things, yes, they're not the biggest deal in the world, but it's just a question you got to ask yourself. Do I want to just do whatever? Do I just want to half-ass things, or do I really want to go all in and extract as much capital as possible
Exactly.
out of every single product I run? And that's just, that's where I feel like we come in so huge. It's just you got the best of both worlds with the three of us, and we're onboarding a new coach soon with me constantly dealing with the products and just overall everything. Samuel's crazy with the websites and the offers and everything. I mean, it's just a perfect mixture of, it's almost inevitable that you win as long as you literally just sit down, listen to us. I mean, there's no way you do not make a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
You're a perfect testimony to that. So, what are your future plans now? Obviously, you still have a lot of time left in the mentorship, and we're going to be printing a lot of money. But what are your goals? What are your future plans for
My
just
future plans is probably like every single dropshipper's dream, to go branded. And I'm currently working on. I'm thinking to brand this product, and I'll tell you the reason why. I know it's not the best converting product, but it is still something.
right?
So I'm thinking I would rather, start branding, the worst product and do as many mistakes as I can with the bad product. And once the good comes, I know what I'm doing, more or less.
Right.
So I think I'll be going towards, branding this product and see how it goes. Maybe it will not work. Maybe it will
As a
just
little
die off,
test
like
subject.
yes, in a few weeks time. But there is another thing. I placed a product on my product research sheet, and you marked it as green. Like you said it that it's absolute banger, but it is a custom product.
Yep.
So it took me some time, but I found a supplier from, China. I already seen the pictures, how the product looks like, and it will be coming soon. I had a conversation with Samuel today about this product, and he said, "Bro, this is the product. This is the product to, to go fully, branded and stuff like that." So for
Exactly.
this product, I will go many extra miles. I will have to redecorate this room, for, aesthetics and everything. So I'll go all in on this product, and I really hope I will make this work.
Beautiful to hear.
So,
Beautiful to hear.
if let's say I get, I make one branded product, work, it is more than enough for me. I
Yeah,
will not
definitely.
need, to go crazy by running, 4 or 5 products at a time, which I
Exactly.
actually did in the past, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
And see, I'm not completely against branded products. I'm on the fence. It's very situational. It depends on a lot of things, and we'll discuss that more, outside of the case study for sure. But, I'm glad you brought that up because so many people think, "Oh my God, I gotta go and run 20, 30, 40, 50 different products to make this big money." And, a lot of these killers out here, a lot of them make majority of their money from one product. Like, obviously, no matter what, you're going to end up running multiple, multiple, multiple products. But if you just find that one product that's good enough, a one banger, if you have a product converting anywhere from 5 to 10K per mil, that's more than enough to go and make, half a million to a million a year off of, instead of spreading yourself thin, running random products, constantly wasting your time. So it's absolutely perfect that you brought that up. And as for the branding, like I said, we'll talk about that for sure after we hop off this call. So now with all of that out of the way, we're printing literally within the first month, less than a month of you in the mentorship. You've made a ridiculous amount of money, and I cannot wait to see how much more we can make, especially through the end of Q4. So now I guess
Yeah.
really all there is left is, would you recommend to anyone out there that's watching this video right now, would you recommend joining the mentorship?
I mean, absolutely. But joining the mentorship doesn't mean you are already, making money. You have to put the right amount of work because
Exactly.
you guys are giving, basically a fast track to a success. But if you
Hmm.
are not willing to put any work in, do not expect, be successful.
Exactly.
It took me 13 months. I believe that if I was in a mentorship, having this close connection with guys level above me, I would have been here, even earlier.
Exactly. Most
So,
definitely.
if there is given information, we all have to, put the work in, have some
Exactly.
sleepless nights, just keep on grinding.
Love it, love it. And see, that's what I tell everybody all the time. I've had to have a few of these conversations with some students. Like, as much as I wish I could, we can't do the business model for you, but we have every resource and guidance that you could possibly need to make it work. It's up to you to put in the effort. And of course, you are a perfect representation of that. You're not spamming us all the time. You're not doing crazy stuff. You ask when you need to, you get the right answer, you go on about it, you implement, you come
Yes.
back when you need another answer. And that's how you use a mentorship to really just fast track every single thing you're doing. So I think that's it. I think we've went over everything. A nice
I
30K month
can
for, go ahead.
I can go over about the issue with the suppliers. I would
Okay.
say there was one important thing and which was really helpful, your contacts to different suppliers. Because
Oh
I
yeah.
came, I had my suppliers and stuff like that, but the funny thing was that in 4 days I made like almost 8K in sales, right? And it was like through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Yeah. So I had this really big 4 days. And the strange thing was that every single Monday after a weekend, usually my supplier was fulfilling the orders, and on Monday they did not send me an invoice. So I was like, something's going on, something's not right. And on Tuesday night, they sent me a text message that they ran into some unexpected, difficulties or whatever, and they said that we have to increase, your shipping cost. And I was like, okay, how much? And they sent me new prices, and the new prices were like 25% higher. So I was like,
That is
these are
crazy.
all my margins, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I kind of went into, I did not want to go into, hardcore mode with them, but I told them my position, like, guys, come on, it can't
Exactly
be
right.
like this. So my backup plan was to get the contacts from all the suppliers. So, I took your suppliers. I knew few more guys. I took a screenshot of my dashboard. I sent them a product. I was like, look, guys, I have this many orders. Give me a good price.
Yeah.
So, and I told to my supplier when because it takes time, to get quotes from different suppliers. Sometimes it takes days, sometimes it takes 3 days. It depends.
Right.
So I knew that I cannot wait this long, for suppliers to, to wait for the quotes. And I knew that I need to fulfill the orders. So I kind of went into a little argue with them, but they fulfilled the orders at the old prices, right? And the next day I received quote from one of your suppliers saying, look, here's the prices. And the prices were like 10% cheaper than I was paying. I was like,
Right.
okay, okay, like I'm switching, that's a win
No
for me.
brainer.
So I've sent my supplier a message. I was like, look, guys, do not fulfill any of the new orders. I'm moving. I'll leave you here because, there is still, orders. There might be, returns, refunds, or whatever. I'll leave you on my store, but do not fulfill new orders. And they
Yeah.
were like, why? I was like, I found a cheaper and faster alternative. And they were like, send me the new prices. Send me the new prices. We'll try to beat it. I was like, okay, this is interesting. I'm wondering, and I was curious, where is this gonna go? So I've sent them those new prices that were 10% cheaper than I was paying them, right?
Uh-huh.
So 4 hours later, they sent me a new price list, which was another 10% cheaper. So right now I'm running 75% margins, bro.
Amazing.
It's just crazy, bro. I
Amazing.
won. I won the game.
I'm actually so glad that you didn't let me cut the call off and you actually brought this up because this is a perfect opportunity for me to bring this up. That's what a lot of people that they don't understand. It's like you can still negotiate with suppliers. For some reason, they look at suppliers as like they're like above them almost. And it's like, no, you guys are on the same playing field, right? You
Yeah.
guys help each other, you guys make each other money. So feel free to constantly negotiate, whether that's in your position or you're starting to make more sales, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm glad you brought this up because I also forgot to mention, that's another thing where we come in so great. Not only the suppliers and the connections, but now, I believe we're starting to dabble in a little bit of my connection with the email marketing. We're implementing email marketing, if not very
Yes.
soon.
I
Customer
am
support.
working with email guy. You
Perfect.
you told
Awesome.
me to get in touch with him. I got in touch with him. We already had two conversations, and my email flow is already going.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Yes.
And now, have we started implementing the customer support team yet? Or is our workload not too big?
No, not yet, not yet.
Awesome.
But I know
Awesome.
it is a plan. I
Exactly.
do have a product research VA
Perfect.
that helps me on daily basis. But yeah, the next thing is customer service, 100%.
Perfect, perfect. And see, that's another thing that really I haven't seen any of these other mentorships offer. We optimize every single team to turn it into a business as much as possible. And really our next step after we get to our next winner is throwing a creator on this one to make it 100%, passive, still at a 50% profit margin, which is, something that really nobody does except for us over here. So it's absolutely perfect that you didn't let
You
me end
know,
that
it
call.
it sounds too good to be true, completely passive. But I
Yeah.
know I know it does work. I know it does work. I know it is doable, and I
Exactly.
will
I
make it
guess,
work.
yeah, yeah. You got me. You can't say completely passive, but you do because you do have to press the pay button to your supplier.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
let's say 90% passive, right? But yeah, okay, so awesome. This has been a great interview, great call. Guys, if you're interested in working with us and getting these results that Ignas has gotten here, feel free to click the description below, join the Money Making Committee Discord, and send me a private DM, and I will get back to you, see if you'd be a good fit, and see if we can cook. But beyond that, great call, Ignas. Absolutely amazing results. I cannot wait to see what we do over these next few months.
100K. Mark my
Yes,
words.
sir.